You're listening to the Beauty Beyond Bella podcast, powered by Formula Wellness.
I'm your host, Dr. Yvette Suarez, owner and medical director of Bella Excellence, a diamond-accredited anti-aging med spa in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. On this show, we explore the latest trends in health, beauty, and anti-aging medicine while celebrating the inspiring journeys and achievements of our guests.
Well, welcome. Today we're talking to our physician assistant, Bassam, who we're so excited to have on today with us. He's been with us for several years. And again, it's really great to have a male provider, but we're going to really kind of dive in and say aesthetics is normally a female-dominated profession, but now we're seeing tons of men. Bassam, what is going on here?
I love this transition. I love that men are starting to be more comfortable with coming in and getting injected and working on their self-care. This isn't just for women, the women in our lives. This is also for the men. We also can benefit from looking good, taking care of ourselves. We work on our health. We work on our fitness a lot, but a lot of times our faces are oftentimes neglected. So I love being someone who can kind of help men enter this field comfortably and and help them take care of themselves.
So you definitely have an edge as a man. I think when they come in and they see another young man, right, who's already starting to believe in prevention, that's also getting treatments, that's probably going to put them in a better mind space to say it is okay, right? I think back in the day, they didn't think it was okay. Can you tell me how that transitions in your room?
Yeah, absolutely. To your point, I'll speak about myself. I was raised, just go, just get out of the house, go, don't put lotion on, no moisturizer, no sunscreen. You're tougher than the sun, just go. And being in this field, I've been in this industry for the past 5 years now. I've realized, add a couple products to your skincare in the morning, add some moisturizer, add some protection with SPF, and then go outside.
So men are going to come in, right? So I would ask you, what's your favorite product for a man? Like, I love Aha Baha. I think you guys can at least exfoliate. Maybe put on some lotion. If you can get a man to do something, is it 2 products? Is it 3 products? And which ones would you choose for them?
Yeah, good question. So I tell all my patients, especially my male patients, I keep it simple. I have a 3-step morning routine and like a 4-step nighttime routine. A morning, I wash my face with just some water and I put some moisturizer on. I put a vitamin C serum and then I put my sunscreen on, and then I'm good to go. At night, I wash my face with a gentle cleanser. About every 2 or 3 nights, I'll use my Aha Baha exfoliator. But then I'll put on some retinol. I don't listen to my own advice, and I started on the 1.0 retinol with Skin Medicam. So I can only tolerate it about once a week. For my newbies, I do recommend start at the 0.25, work your way up to the 0.5, and then work your way up to the 1.0. So yeah, my night times, I'll put some retinol on, hyaluronic acid, and then I'll layer it with moisturizer, and then I'm good to go. And I do it on my face, my scalp, because I'm bald. I have to protect my scalp. So for all my bald men out there, we're not tougher than the sun. So we need to put sunscreen on our scalp. We need to prevent these age spots, this sun damage, hyperpigmentation. We have to avoid all of that by putting on sunscreen. So at night, I'll layer on some moisturizer just to keep it all protected. And then I also work on my neck as well.
I love that. So 2 great points I think you brought up. Number 1, I think we don't think about bald men as women when we have our hair covered all the time. Definitely a great idea, right? Because you do see, as men age, all the different sunspots and wrinkling that they get on their scalp. And we know that if you can prevent it, it's much easier than having to reverse it.
Yep.
And I never really hear men talk about their neck, right? Until they come in and it's wobbly and hanging. But that's a great thing. I think for even women, it's hard for us to remember, we treat our face, we treat our neck, we treat our décolletage and our hands. But that's a great point for men. And I love that you already started that.
Yeah. I think being in this industry for the past 5 years, I've seen different, how should I say this? I've seen many patients on different journeys, different paths. So I've seen some patients who are on their preventative track. I've seen patients who are on their maintenance track. I've seen patients on their corrective track. And I think I've taken all of that over the past 5 years and realized It's easier to be on the preventative track versus the corrective side. It's cheaper to be on the preventative side than to be on the corrective side. So I've absorbed all of that. I've seen my bald men coming in needing lasers on their scalp, needing lasers on their neck, on their face for these hyperpigmentation. So I've taken all of that, absorbed it for myself, and I implement it on myself when I get home. So yeah, I need to avoid all of that from happening to me.
Great things.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. We term the word Brotox, right? For men to feel comfortable to get Botox. I think for me, when men come in, it's really funny. They'll say, I only want a little. And we know that your muscles are about double the strength of our muscles. And so sometimes undertreating is not great. Can you walk me through what that consultation with a man would be when he's just starting to get interested?
Absolutely. So without fail, all my male patients, they're so nervous when they come in. When you go on social media, you see these beautiful aesthetic clinics and everything is just white and glamorous and just, kind of intimidating for a male to walk in. One thing I love about Bella is that I don't feel like it's intimidating for any new patient, male or female, walking in. Everyone's so inviting, everyone's so welcoming, from our front staff to the back office staff, everybody is just so welcoming and warm. So when they finally come in to see me, to your point, they always say, I just want a little. I don't want to be frozen. I've seen the Real Housewives of whatever, and I want to avoid that. And I assure them, like, listen, no matter what I do to you, I will make sure that you don't look like that. You will be my walking billboard. So I need to make sure that whatever we do today, you're walking around with great results to the point where you're excited to tell your friends and family, and now they're coming to see me and I'm replicating those results. But one of my biggest points is, for my patients is, how many units I have. I'm at 60 to 65 units in my forehead, brow, and crow's feet. And then I also show them this is what 65 units looks like. I currently have a full face of tox right now. And so I show them I still have expression. This is me kind of frowning. This is me angry right now. And you can see that I still have expression. I'm not frozen, but I don't have lines. I don't have wrinkles. And so once I show them that, they're a little bit more calm. They're a little bit more relaxed. And I'll say, listen, we don't have to do all of that. I started at 28 units just in my brow and my forehead. Now, after a few years of doing this, I've grown to know that 60, 65 units is my magic number. So I show them that and I tell them, listen, I can underdose you. You won't get the results. You won't come back. Let me give you what I think you need. Come back and see me in 2 weeks. And if we need to adjust, then we can do an adjustment. And yeah.
Yeah, that's so important. I think a lot of people underdose the first time we treat, right? Because we're so worried about what the patient thinks they need or wants. And we're doing them a disservice because they're not going to be happy with the results. They're not going to be happy with the longevity of the results. But if we really treat them the way they need to be treated, they will love it. And convincing them that it's unnoticeable and natural. And I mean, look, you look great. No one's going to say you're over frozen. And I think that's a terminology that men are super afraid of. And I'm glad you're kind of walking them through that because they will come back and get it done. And when they come back, there's lots of other laser hair removal, lasers. Talk to me a little bit about what inspires them once they get a little bit of tox. What are they coming back in for?
Yeah, good question. So tox is definitely the first thing that comes in, that starts the conversation. So we started off with a little bit of tox, and as I build rapport with the patient, as I build a relationship with the patients, I just slowly kind of mention all of the other great things that we have. Most men, including myself, before I started in this industry, I thought it was all Botox and fillers, big cheeks, big lips, and frozen face. And that was my misconception going into aesthetics. So I make it my mission to educate these patients. My female patients, they know all the things. They come in specifically requesting, specific products and treatments and whatnot. But my male patients, we're a little.
You need to guide them.
We need a little bit more guidance. So when they come in, I let them know, hey, let's do some talks today. Let's take care of those wrinkles. And then listen, when I see you again, let's talk about what we can do for your under eyes. Let's talk about what we can do with those sunspots. And I let them know, hey, listen, we don't have to do anything today. Let's just talk. Let's just hang out. I have you for 30 minutes. Let's just talk. Let's get to know each other. And then at the end of the visit, they're left with information on laser hair removal, the lasers for hyperpigmentation, for resurfacing, ablative lasers, PRP, which is one of my favorite things to do. They're left with so much information, and then they come back, and then we slowly build upon that first visit.
Yeah, and look, I agree with all of that. I think men, they come in so afraid, and they either come in typically because a female brings them in, or because we practice a lot of wellness, they'll come in on the wellness side, right, requiring some bioidentical hormones or weight loss, and then transition the aesthetic side. So you have a really great way when you're talking to your female patients for their female and their partners. How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So generally speaking, I get the women first, the women in our lives first. So they'll come in and we'll chat, we'll hang out for a little bit, and then without fail, they will always mention, "Oh my God, my husband would love you. I need to bring my husband in here. He really needs it. He's starting to get crow's feet. He's starting to get, etched in brow lines." And so I let them know, listen, bring them in. Next time, let me have you come in for your next visit, and bring him in. We'll put this chair in the corner, and he'll just listen and absorb all the information. And without fail, towards the end of that visit, the guy eventually gets a little bit more comfortable and starts asking, "Hey, like, what can we do here? What can we do there?" I think that's where I am really able to kind of use me being a male as to my advantage. I think men are more comfortable with men, typically, especially in this kind of niche industry. Um, and so yeah, so I just have them in the corner, and then eventually I start seeing them without the wives. They start coming in. We have our little powwow. We both take this moment to just kind of bro down a little bit while getting injected.
It's funny you say that because I do pick on my men a little bit when I'm injecting them, because we all know that men are big babies. And so I look at them, I go, if you cry, we're going to make fun of you. Like, let's not cry. And, women, we do this and not even blink. We're having a conversation and doing this. And they come in and they're not, look, it's not that it's painful. It's they're afraid of needles and they're afraid of the experience. We know some other people in the office that are afraid of needles.
Absolutely.
How do we get them to calm down and know that that's not going to really hurt or decrease their anxiety about it?
Yeah, good question. I'll be honest, I'm the biggest baby in the clinic. Whenever I'm due for treatments, usually I'll try to fly under the radar. I'll go a couple months without, with having full movement. And then one of our providers, Carrie, DC, or you or Jill, will just be like, "Bassam, like, we need to fix your brows. Come on, get in the chair." And I will try to fly under the radar for as long as possible because I'm the biggest baby when it comes to getting needles done.
The Formula Wellness 4 cornerstones are nutrition, functional wellness, aesthetics, and brain health. These serve as a guide rail for individuals that are pursuing longevity inside and out. Formula Wellness is setting the new benchmark in preventative healthcare and aesthetics. Thank you for all of your support. To learn more, please visit www.formulawellness.com.
Or needles injected in me. It's usually a mind over matter thing. It doesn't hurt. It's virtually painless. And depending on how quick the provider can go, usually if it's just tox, usually it's over in less than 30 seconds. So I tell patients all the time, men and women, listen, I am the biggest baby out here. So, if you need to let it out, if you need to kind of take a break, I'll give you a squeezy ball. We have the facial vibrators, we have the numbing cream, we have the chiller, the Zimmer. So I let them know, listen, it is safe to let it out. I'm not judging you, because if I ever record myself getting injected and I put it online and you guys get to see, you'll realize that
should do.
I've flirted with that idea, but maybe like after 30 minutes of numbing cream, we can do it so I can show that I'm tough. But no, it doesn't hurt at all. It's a mind over matter thing.
Look, we wax our eyebrows. We do a lot of things that are painful, and we've been raised to do that. Beauty hurts, right? And but I agree with you. I think it'd be interesting to see in 5 years down the road, in 1 year, does it hurt less, or is it really just the stress of having a needle? Because I mean, again, I think working out hurts more, right? pushing those muscles to your limit hurts more than a little baby needle of tox. But
yard work, mowing the grass, chopping down a tree, that hurts.
that hurts.
That we'll do with no problem, no hesitation. If that's what's needed for the house, we'll do that. But then when it comes to coming in here and getting injected, we're all just like kind of hyperventilating, white knuckling it. But then when without fail, when I get it done and it's done, I'm just like, oh, that was nothing. Why was I acting like this? Same with my male patients. It's just like, oh,
You just guys are a little baby.
we're babies. No, I give credit where credit's due because I've been in this industry for the past 5 years. I know without fail, women are just so much tougher than men. We need to give.
You heard that, right? Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. Let me just make sure I heard that.
Women are so much tougher than men. We need to give you guys your flowers because, you guys are just so much tougher than men. 100%.
Listen, I always say if men had to give birth, we would never procreate again.
We would have,
We would.
we would have gone extinct decades ago, centuries ago. Yeah.
Okay, so when you told me a story before, when you came into this aesthetic world, you were like that typical man that our patients tell us all the time, and their husbands say to them, oh, you don't need this, honey. You're fine. You look wonderful just the way you are. I think you had a little story.
Oh, yeah. So at the time, I think it was 2018, 2019, I was still in school at the University of Florida, and my fiance called me, wife now. She called me, Michelle, and was like, babe, I think I want Botox. And in my typical male brain, I was thinking Botox, she's going to get big lips, she's going to get big cheeks, and she's just going to look so unnatural. And so I did everything in my power to talk her out of it. And I did, and she didn't get it done. She had, she could have if she wanted to, but I was just like, babe, you don't need it. I said all the typical things that men say to our significant others. You don't need it. You're beautiful as is. It's going to change you. It's going to, all the typical, conversations about this. And then the following year, I graduated, got into aesthetics, and within the first 2 months of being in this industry, I came home and told my wife, babe, I just got Botox. And she was less than thrilled with me. She was like, how the hell did you get it when I've been wanting it for the past 2-3 years now? I was like, I don't know, but now that I've gotten it done, and this was when the results kicked in, I was like, I see what it did for me, and I see that it didn't change much for me. It improved some of my movement, some of the lines that were starting to become etched into my face. I see it. I see the light now, and now we both get it done, and it's not as taboo as I thought it was. And that's something, as a male in this industry, I try to educate my male patients, and even some of my female patients who are a little hesitant. It's not as taboo as it was, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now people talk about it. They brag about it. They're open about it. I tell all my friends, I'm Middle Eastern. I'm from Palestine, and I have a lot of Middle Eastern friends. And, we were raised rough and rugged to, always be a man, quote unquote. And, moisturizer on your face, that's not what men do. And so now when I get together with them, we all, take turns, sharing, any stories about our new updates on our lives and whatnot. When it comes to me, they always, make a couple jokes, and, we'll make fun of me. Oh, you got Botox in your face. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Look. And without fail, I always tell my friends, when we are in our 70s and 80s and we're still hanging out, I'm going to continue looking good because I'm taking care of myself, because I'm preventing, damage to myself, to my skin. And without fail, I always have one or two friends calling me later on that night. Hey man, I didn't want to say it in front of everybody, but what do you think? What do you recommend? And now I have most of my friends on a good regimen of skincare and tox, and they come in, see me all the time nowadays. So yeah.
Yeah,
It's been good. It's been good.
Look, and as in women, we have to understand what we do is for ourselves. And I'm assuming it's the same thing for men, right? We cannot worry about what our significant other want or what our friends want or what the culture is or what's on TV. It really is what makes us feel good, right? And so if having a little less wrinkles is having less sagging and looking less tired is what's great, I think we need to get out of that world that people are very judgmental, right? And then I can imagine, because they're already judgmental for women, I can imagine the judgment for a man sitting there that you look better than all your friends. So you're going to get a little bit more back on that. But I think that's okay. And I think we need to inspire people that it's okay to take care of yourself, right? Self-love and self-care is a big thing right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get a lot of patients, men and women, who come in and, you know, they start telling me the things that they want to improve on, the things they want to enhance, and then they start justifying it. And I tell them, I cut them off. I'm like, hey, respectfully, you don't have to justify it for anybody. If this is what you want to do, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it the most natural we can. And, you know, let's do what you want me to do, what you need me to do. You don't have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to justify it for anybody. Doesn't matter. If you want it, if you see it, and if you see it in the morning every day, and it's something that you're having an issue with, or something that you wish that we can improve on, let's do it. Don't justify it. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you went into this field, did you think it would be this in depth? I know we do a lot of trainings, right? We believe in a lot of education and CMEs and constantly learning and pushing the envelope. I think sometimes people think this is a foo-foo world, right? And not a real big medical world. And I'm coming from an ER position. And so coming into that is very different. But, you know, anatomy and understanding patients and how to treat them is really an art.
It's important. Absolutely. And it's an art. Yeah, when I was applying to jobs, when I graduated, I got accepted into this position in aesthetics, and I really had a moment to myself, and I really had to think, am I really going to be injecting fillers and giving women bigger lips and bigger cheeks? And, you know, I thought that's what aesthetics was. I really thought that's all it was. And I was like, did I really go to school? All of my 20s was spent in school for this moment. Like, thankfully, I took that leap and I got into aesthetics, and I've realized it is, within the first 3 months of working, it is way more in depth than that. Knowledge on you know, facial anatomy and the importance of proper placement of certain products, and why we use this product versus that product, and, you know, not giving everybody a cookie cutter look, and everyone being unique and trying to enhance their own natural beauty. That is way more than what I thought I was going to be doing when I first started, but I'm so thankful I got in. 5 years in now, you know, the techniques I was doing last year, the techniques I was doing, you know, 5 years from now, is completely different than what I'm doing now. So yeah, we're forever students. I'm constantly learning. Just 2 weeks ago, learned a brand new technique on cannula with fillers, and I've been implementing it since, and just so many things. Every now and then I'll come into your room and learn a different technique, and then practice it on patients, and then, you know, enhance our skills. We're never going to be, you know, complete in our knowledge, and, you know, in here. So I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And look, we have a great group of providers. I think, like you said, it's really interesting that we're able to piggyback on each other and learn so much, and continuously. I just came back from a wellness conference this weekend in Chicago, and it's always about learning and reminding us. A lot of times, everything that we know, sometimes we just forget. And it's not that we don't know it, but we constantly have to remind ourselves, to our patients, that, you know what, we need to do better. We need to continuously push the envelope. We need to make sure that we are the best in the field of medicine and aesthetics. And so I love that. And I agree with you. There's never an end point to learning.
Yeah. Somebody said this while I was in PA school, and it was one of my preceptors, and he was like, the minute you feel like you know everything is the day you should retire. That's it. Because as soon as you start believing that you know everything, that's when you're going to start harming patients. You're going to be a detriment to the field of medicine. And so never feel like you know enough. Never feel like you know everything. Constantly be humble and humble yourself, and know your limits. Know that you don't know as much as you think you know. And so always be open to learning, and yeah. And so that's something I'm super grateful for, especially within Bella and Formula Wellness. That's something that I really wasn't prepared for in the beginning when I first started was the constant education, the constant, advancements and, hey, go to this training session, go to this conference, go there, go there. I thought, I just wasn't prepared for that. And I'm so glad that, that is a focus. And it benefits us, but it also benefits our patients. They're getting the latest and greatest techniques. They're getting, the best results as much as possible. And yeah, so I think it just benefits everybody as a whole.
So as you say, so he's doing great. He's growing so well, and I always love to pick on him because, I could be his mom. But however, the goal is to really always look and feel our best. And I really appreciate that. And I think you need to come in and meet with Bassam and have the women and their men, especially our little men. I love the idea. I'm going to take that little tidbit about the bald head because I never really think about that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's so important to really protect all of us, the ears, the head, the neck.
Oh, yeah.
So of course, I'm going to ask you our last question. And so it really becomes, what does beauty mean to you? What does beauty inside and out mean to you? These are so important for our industry.
Yeah, really good question. So for me, what beauty means to me is having the confidence to just get up and go. Far too long, most of us, I'll speak on myself, or I'll wake up and every now and then when I know I'm not feeling my best, I know I'm not eating as best as I could, I look in the mirror and I'm just like, my clothes don't fit the way that I want them to, or I'm constantly doing, the untucking my shirt and, just, and then that translates to your confidence when you leave the house. When you're not feeling the greatest, you're not performing your greatest. And so, for me, beauty is not just looks and within aesthetics and how your face looks. It's how you feel on the inside, it's how you feel on the outside. What you do on the inside will translate to how you feel on the outside, and will translate to your performance, will translate to, advancements in your career and your personal life and your social life and your relationships and everything like that. So for me, it's beauty starts at the root cause of the source, and that is proper diet, exercise, feeding your mind the right things, and reading and lotion and moisturizer and sunscreen, all that fun stuff tied into one. Yeah.
Yeah, quality of life.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for being a guest on the Beauty Beyond Bella podcast. It was great having you. See you
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you so much.
Powered by Formula Wellness.